What's up everyone, welcome back to a new video. Please make sure to like and subscribe down below if you're new around here. So, a couple of hours ago, we got some breaking news of who RFK Jr.'s vice presidential pick is going to be. His vice presidential pick is kind of exactly who a lot of people were not really seeing, but kind of also predicted at the same time. It's not like with Trump, where I think his VP is going to completely come out of left field, seemingly out of nowhere. But he announced Nicole Shanahhan to be his vice presidential pick. And this is a solid choice. This is honestly a solid choice for him. And this is a reasoning why I would believe that, is because his running mate is more of a left kind of leaning politician. Which means good news is likely on the way for former President Donald Trump. If we look at this here, Mr. Kennedy confirmed that this was one of the names, including Scott Brown, who was the former senator, one of the former senator before Elizabeth Warren, and Tulsi Gabbard and other people who I think Tulsi Gabbard is more aligned with Trump than RFK, if I'm being honest at this point. Especially since she was speaking at CPAC and doing a whole bunch of other stuff related to that. And other people were also floated. But this is who RFK decided to go with. Nicole Shanahhan. Now, do I think that this gives a boost to Trump? Definitely. Do I think RFK is going to win any states? No, but it'll definitely give Trump an ability to win some more states and to possibly lead by quite a bit in some of these other states. So I've gone ahead. We're doing the colors a little bit differently on this map. The colors that I've already filled out are states that are pretty much certain are going to go in this direction. I'm not doing margins or anything like that here. And then we're going to use the lighter color for states to demonstrate the margins that Trump could possibly get in some of these swing states. So with this vice presidential pick, I think he's vying to take more votes away from Joe Biden at the end of the day, one of the most unpopular presidents in our history. So with this vice presidential pick and helping him appeal more to the Biden base, Trump could possibly pick off Maine at large, and he could possibly pick off, he's going to win Georgia, he's going to win North Carolina. I think that was a given at this point. North Carolina is a state that I think should be solid red, actually. Trump's going to win Wisconsin more likely than not. Now, Nebraska second's a toss-up. We'll get to that in a moment. Then New Hampshire, with its 4 electoral votes for Donald Trump. It could go in his column, but we'll fill out Nevada and Arizona first. Nevada and Arizona. Arizona, you got the Green Party. Trump's floor in Nevada and Arizona are both really high. I wouldn't say he lost any support, and just by the way the midterms went last year, Kari Lake performed in line with Trump, like how Trump did in 2020. And Kari Lake, while I respect her and I like her, she was just not in the right place at the right time. So that being said, I still think Biden will win Virginia and Minnesota. But I strongly believe that Trump will pick off Michigan along with Pennsylvania, and then Biden, and then Nebraska second could go either way, so we'll leave that the way it is. But Biden's gonna most likely than not win New Hampshire. So with that being said, this is what you can expect more likely than not coming out of the Biden headquarters and out of the Trump headquarters with this pick. It's clear that that RFK's pivot is not on the Trump base. His pivot is on the Biden base. That explains quite a lot right there. He's not after the Trump voters. So those of you on Twitter claiming that he's after Trump voters, he's not. He's after the more leftist people. And even I don't think he's going to win any of the states. But if he won a state, it would most likely be Massachusetts. And let's just say RFK is already on the ballot, and he's working to get on the ballot in Michigan and Wisconsin. He's on the ballot in Utah, which doesn't really matter. That state's going to go for Trump anyway. But he's slowly but surely starting to get ballot access across the country. So we're just going to have to wait and see exactly what happens. I don't know if he's on the ballot yet in Nebraska. I don't think he is. But once he gets on the ballot in Nebraska, we could maybe make a better prediction about Nebraska second, but first he has to get on the ballot. Then after he's on the ballot, we can go ahead and determine whether or not he has a shot to help Trump flip back any of these states. I know it's a long shot at the end of the day, but it's still a possibility, and it can be done. It just has to be placed in the most strategic ways possible. And if we look at the polling on RCP, which we're going to pull up right now, if we look at the polling coming out of the states, Trump is up by 5. Trump is up by 5 in the states with RFK on the ticket, and RFK is polling at 12.3%. While I think that number is definitely going to dip as we go further, I strongly believe that with this pick, it might actually go higher than 12.3, and Trump could possibly pick off some more of those undecideds, because if you looked back at the election results, I'm specifically talking about Ohio, Dean Phillips is going to get delegates from Eastern Ohio, as I already mentioned in a previous video. Now, do I really think, and now these 67,000 Dean Phillips voters, not that it really matter, because Ohio's going to go red to Donald Trump anyway, but do you really think these Dean Phillips voters are going to vote for Joe Biden at the end of the day? Most likely not, because if we look at other states, like Michigan, where they had an uncommitted option on, or wherever the Democratic primary is, it's right here. As you can see here, uncommitted got 101,000 votes, and those voters most likely will not vote for Joe Biden, or most of them probably won't vote for Joe Biden, as that was like a protest vote against him. Same goes for Dean Phillips and Marianne Williamson, so Biden has got a high problem, and most likely these voters are going to break for RFK Jr. while Biden's base continues to fall apart and will eventually move away from him. It will just give more and more traction to RFK, and if we look at Michigan with where there's no RFK and Trump only poll. But even on the three-way poll, this would be enough. Kennedy is at 8.2, which is very good for him. Now, considering more and more of the Biden base breaks away and transfers over to Kennedy, it's only going to hurt Biden's poll numbers even more than it already is at the end of the day. Especially if we go back to the three-way race, or the one-way race against Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Donald Trump is leading by 3.5, and if RFK is on the ballot, that lead's going to expand. So, what am I saying here? Biden's going to lose more support, while Trump is basically just going to remain where he is. And Trump is pulling out like 50 in some of these polls. Once you're at 50, it's hard to fall. But if we look at the 2020 polling, Biden only won Michigan by 2.8 points. And then some polls had Trump up by 2 and such leading up to the general election, but a lot of them did not. A lot of them Biden was leading in. So do I really think are really going to break for Joe Biden in 2020? Like what happened in 2020? Like, Joe Biden won't be able to win the moderate vote because the moderates are disillusioned with him. So the moderates, they're likely going to break for Kennedy, and it's going to help Trump out in the general election. So that being said, sorry if this video was kind of rushed, but I'm feeling much better. Videos will be much more consistent. So that being said, thank you for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe down below if you are new, and enjoy the rest of your day.